Oh, damn, son.
I don't think we need to do any more than that.
I think we just need to leave it there, don't we?
Are you happy bunnies?
Hello FIGGIE fiends and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with a Star Wars The Black Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at a character that I don't really need to introduce because I've sort of already done that at the start of this video. We're going to be having a look at Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Archive line. As always, these figures are basically re-release and slight tweaks to pre-existing figures, and they just come in these really basic bubbling cards. And it's a great way for collectors who missed out on them the first time to get characters that they obviously want to get. It was kind of obvious Hasbro were going to re-release this guy, particularly after a certain episode of The Mandalorian aired.
Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
So as soon as they said they were making this guy again, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't really need it. And then naturally pictures started leaking of him and I was like, oh, I do. And we'll get into the reason why in a moment, and to be fair, it's only a very small reason. I had to have him. It's Thrawn. He's one of my favourite characters in Star Wars, which we'll get into shortly. First, as per usual, we're going to just get the packaging out of the way and done with. It's this bubble where you can see the figure inside there. Lovely artwork by Gregory Titus. We've got the age group. Don't worry about that. Warning sign, Star Wars The Black Series at the top. 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, and the name of the character on the side there in the archive line just there. On the back you've got a bio on the character and a picture of the character itself. Furthermore, you've got the timeline of Lucasfilm at the bottom there just to celebrate that. Thrawn here is highlighted under the Rebels. This appearance of him is from that. The reason why they haven't really highlighted the legends for him there, because he is a legend from Legends. Papa bless, thank you Dave Filoni for bringing him back into canon. But basically it's because he had a slightly different look in that compared to how he appears now. He certainly looks much more regal and more admirally in his Legends appearance. So this is for his, you know, animated appearance, made realistic in that Black Series vein. I would have liked it if they included a picture of the first release of this guy on the back there, but naturally because there's not really much room they couldn't really do that, and also you've got to include that lovely legal garb at the bottom. But nonetheless, let's just crack into the figure itself, of which there are now 3 versions of this guy, one of which I do not own, and that's the San Diego Comic-Con edition. The only difference between this and the other versions that have followed are basically the paint apps, mainly in the fact that they didn't include the silver on the rank badge for whatever reason why. But in terms of the figure itself compared to the other ones, it's not quite as good, but the accessories elevate it to make it even better because it is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and that's the only damn way you can get those accessories. Packaging as well, styled like Thrawn's office, and all the things, little accessories, are things from Thrawn's office, and chef's kiss, I'm kicking myself right now for not getting it when I had the chance to. Nonetheless though, we're having a look at this archive release, but I do have the first edition to compare him to. So let's have a look at the first edition, which, you know, it's fine. This was released back in 2017, just in the run-up to The Last Jedi being released. Kind of a weird inclusion into that, a welcome one, and was one that I was super hyped about getting. So here he is. And you know, it works fine on your shelf. I mean, in terms of the head sculpt, it's not as detailed as certainly many other recent Black Series figures, but there's nothing particularly wrong with it. So you're probably wondering, Dan, why did you get another one of this figure? Well, I'm going to tell you now. It's pretty much night and day in terms of those paint applications and head sculpts. If it's going to focus, oh thank you, cheers. So this is the new edition, the one that I'm hovering here, compared to the original. The eyebrows are much thicker on the original, and on the new one they're a little bit more thinner. Just the overall paint application and tones on the new version are just much better. We'll move the original version out of the way and give you a look at red-eyed blue boy here, of which I've got him posed up in a very sort of analytical pose as per Thrawn's character. You don't really want this guy in some particularly action-packed poses, although you could. And he certainly is someone who does know how to handle himself, but you want him more in these sort of analytical thought-provoking poses as he's sizing up the enemy ready for attack. He's really like a mashup of Moriarty and Sherlock in terms of his sort of character, an admirer of art and warfare, and he's always 6 steps in front of his enemy. He's just like a different kind of bad. Like a Sith Lord can use their force powers on you, their lightsaber. Thrawn just uses his mind, and that's what makes him so damn dangerous. But if we have a look at the figure itself, moving on down, got his white, apparel and his black boots. Something I will note about this figure in particular, same with the original version, he does stand a little bit taller than some of your other characters, and that's kind of in keeping with Thrawn. There's not too much going on in terms of the sculpting and detailing, but that's kind of typical with, your Grand Admirals and Moffs. Of course, he's got his gold shoulder pad sort of ranking there, as well as his rank badge, which is painted in silver, unlike the San Diego Comic-Con version. His cylinders as well on his shirt. Of course, you've got his belt and the holster, of which has got his blaster held in there. You can take that out and have Thrawn hold that. A different kind of sort of blaster that we've seen. It's very unique to Thrawn. Something I'm really excited about though, as I did say in my previous video, we're getting a Luke Skywalker Heir to the Empire figure, and I do feel like the Yzla Murray that was included with that Luke was possibly going to be intended to be included with this guy, but Hasbro, the way how they are, were sort of like, no, we'll pack it in with that Luke figure instead, and make people want to get this even more. I don't know, maybe that was a marketing strategy, but I'm really excited to get that Luke just so I can put that little creature with this guy effectively. With that being said though as well, I would like to see sort of a Legends vein Thrawn, the sort of gold shoulder pad. I don't know what you call them things, but yeah, if they could do a sort of more Legends vein Thrawn, I'd be all over that. Literally, just give me anything Thrawn Hasbro and I'll take it. I mean, do I need to? Probably not, but I'm glad I've got to. An idea I have got to do with this original one, could definitely do a 0 hour Thrawn if I got myself a General Veers and repainted his body armour and helmet and maybe retweaked it a little bit, cutting some parts off. I could give that to Thrawn. That'd be pretty cool. All sidebars here. Sorry guys, it's just Thrawn is one of my favourite characters. Just get it. Need I say more? Yes I do, because I've not talked about Articulation yet. And it's exactly the same for the original release and the first San Diego Comic-Con release. It has a ball jointed head on a ball hinge, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, ball joint hips, swivels at the top of the thighs, double hinged knees, ball joint ankles with the rocker joints. So this guy has all the articulation that you could need, and you can get him in some fairly action-packed poses, but if you're someone like me who prefers to have him looking more analytical, you're certainly more inclined to do that. So that's Grand Admiral Thrawn for you. If you haven't picked up a Thrawn yet, what are you playing at? Get the new version though, because that's probably the easiest way you're going to be able to get him, and it's the nicest. Let me know what you think of him down in the comments below. And this is me, Daniel East 1000 signing out. Thank you very much for watching.